was like, yeah, you got to do your practice presentation. I'm like, my practice presentation? So I remember I did my practice presentation. It wasn't that good. I was like really nervous because I wasn't comfortable with speaking in front of people. And then after, I guess I must have did okay because the lady was like, oh yeah, she did great. And then I was like, you should really consider doing Project Survive for real. So the next semester, I started off doing Project Survive because I went backwards. I didn't take Women's 54. I took 55 first. So I got to start working as a peer educator while taking Women's 54. So yeah, I started doing presentations around City College, and it was great. It really became very therapeutic for me. I didn't realize how it was going to be therapeutic for me. I didn't really realize it worked until I really was like, after probably like my fourth presentation, I was like, man, this is really therapeutic. Like, this is like, it's a lot of people that don't know about sexual violence like to do. My last one, Adele made me a senior peer without even really letting me know. And like, I got the email the day of, she's like, you're a senior peer, so you're gonna do all the senior peer parts. And I like freaked out during the presentation. And after, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore because I felt like I did so bad. And so the next semester I came in and I did it. I kept telling her, I don't want to do any of those. I'm not going to do any of those. And she was like, you could do it. Just go ahead and do it. So I went ahead and I kept doing them. And I ended up getting really good at them. And like I would get like emails from like Anastasia and like all these things that Project Survive was like offering because you were a part of Project Survive. And that's when I stumbled upon the Riley Center. I was like, I had no idea, to be honest with you guys, to be honest with you all, I decided to go ahead and do Riley Center because I thought I was going to get some money. And so I was like, oh yeah, it's winter break, I need a few dollars. So yeah, I can go ahead and do this training. I had no idea the training was to become a domestic violence counselor. So the entire week I'm like taking the training. I'm like, I'm crying in the training because it's so sad. It's so therapeutic and it's so deep. Not knowing like at the end, like we're going to become domestic violence counselors. I'm just thinking like I'm going to get these dollars, like I'm taking this training. I'm broke right now. I'm going to get these dollars after doing this training. And then the lady's like, oh yeah, you're officially a domestic violence counselor. You can start with Riley Center. I'm like, what? What is going on? So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, well that's kind of cool. And so I started, doing my peer counseling at the Riley Center, and then we had also had somebody come in from SFWAR, and they did their presentation, and I was like really in love with them. I was like, oh, I have to see what's up with their training. And so while I was doing Riley Center, I also started doing the SFWAR training, and I became a peer sexual assault counselor with them and a volunteer with them. So I started doing both. And I love both, so I'm getting the experience of working as a counselor through both and helping people and educating people. And with my journey with Project Survive has led me to do Respect. Respect was also a part of the Project Survive where we go into the high schools and we talk about pretty much the presentations that we do in Project Survive about sexual violence, domestic violence, and also family dynamics, like the unhealthy relationships that we have in family dynamics. So I have really enjoyed doing the Respect, talking to young kids, especially at Galileo. I graduated from Galileo, so I've been at Galileo a lot. So it's really been like great for me to come out to Galileo and to see some of my teachers and do presentations in their classrooms and talk about sex, right? In their classrooms, because I remember when I was in high school, we didn't have nobody to come in and talk about sex and make it positive and talk about how it's okay for you to own your sexuality and be comfortable and you're sexy and stuff like that. So I feel awesome when I come into the classrooms and I'm able to share about how it's okay to be comfortable in your sexuality and how it's okay to have sex, but you need to be having that good sex, right? So, yeah, so it's awesome, and it's very like, it's also therapeutic for me to go into high schools because I know when I was in high school, it was kind of hard for me to talk about like sex because it was like something that was told to us, you shouldn't be having sex or you shouldn't be doing this. And all that, it's like, it was negative. When sex really is like a good thing, it can really be a good thing if you're taught the right things and you're comfortable with your sexy, and you're comfortable with your sexuality, you know what you like. So it's really therapeutic for me to come in and tell young kids, and then even after my presentations, to sit and talk to young kids, and they ask me questions about, well, how did you, react, or how did you do this when you were at Galileo? And I told them, hey, shit, I didn't even really know, because I never had nobody that came to Galileo and had these talks, and I never was comfortable talking to adults, or even like some of my peers. I wasn't comfortable with talking like, hey, I'm feeling this way. So it's good to come in and make that a positive thing for kids. And it's good to also kind of connect with them as a domestic violence counselor, because a lot of people don't speak about it, but like in high school, it's a lot of kids that experience domestic violence in their relationships, right? It's a lot of them, they don't speak when maybe they don't feel comfortable with their parents or their family members or whoever it is, their guardians. So it's very cool to kind of connect with them and be like, hey, I've been through this. I'm not that much older than you. I'm still in my 20s. So I'm not that much older. I can relate to you all, and, I feel where you're coming from, and just kind of like break it down to like, okay, it's like you're in this domestic violence relationship, but let's go all the way down. Like, let's figure out where that came from, Let's figure out what kind of family dynamic you came from, and let's figure out what mom and dad had and stuff like that. So it's good to kind of like open their eyes up to that and be like, what was my parents' relationship like, or what was my guardian relationship like? And just have their brains going. And then, once you have their brains going, they're spreading the word like, hey, I learned this. And, they're mentioning it to their parents. And maybe even though their parents like, girl, I know what I'm talking about. And then, girl, you just a child. They really in the inside like, she might be right. But I'm not going to tell her that. Because even my dad says that. When I tell my dad, I'm like, some of the things that you say to me, I know you're my dad. But I think it's just been like a lot of unhealthy things that have been passed down to you that I have learned, and I'm trying to get you to learn and try to unlearn all the things that you have been once taught. Let's like break the cycle. And so we're doing all that and working with the Riley Center and SFWAR and Project SURVIVE. It's led me to also go ahead and try and start my own nonprofit. So right now I'm working at an elementary school. And even though they're in elementary school, I try to teach those kids to be like positive about their body and their confidence and own their sexuality and just be who they are. And I just try to let them know like it's okay. Like it's okay for you to say say how you feel, be how you feel, do how you feel. Like you have to be confident within yourself and love yourself for others to respect that. It's just a lot of things that we have been like taught that is not so good, it's not so positive, that like even for me, like when I came up, I say you guys, right? I've been working with Project SURVIVE for like 2 years, 3 years now, and I'm still learning. It's a lot of unlearning that we have to do that takes a long time because we have been taught that for so long, and so it takes a lot of time for you to like, it's just like, I gotta work on that, Just acknowledge that for yourself, inside of yourself. So that's what I try to teach my kids, is to acknowledge that in yourself. And I also try to teach that to my clients. So that has really been my journey with Project SURVIVE. I didn't know what Project SURVIVE was gonna lead me to. I just thought it was gonna be like me getting back into school, taking this and then to sexual violence class. I didn't know it was gonna be therapeutic. I didn't know it was gonna lead to my career path. I didn't know all these things. I was just like, hey, I need to get back in school. My best friend's like hounding me, like, girl, you need to get back in school. You need to get your shit together. And so I didn't know that it was going to lead to all of this, but I'm grateful that I took Women's 55 and I joined Project SURVIVE, and Project SURVIVE, being as awesome as they are, had all these extra activities and all these extra programs for me to join, and I'm just glad that I took advantage of it. And I hope me coming here today, you all take Women's 55 and 54, any women's studies class, take it because they're trying to cut them at City. So take it, and you never know where that, just taking those classes can take you. I didn't know that it was going to take me this far. I didn't know that I was going to be a counselor. I didn't know that I was going to want to start my own nonprofit. So definitely take advantage and do your best. And also, I just want to mention that Fatima, who introduced me, we did a presentation at a church. And we did a Project SURVIVE. And you know, we talk about like the LGBTQ family. We talk about them, and you know that's something that's supposed to be banned. And they welcomed us in, and it was beautiful. So it's good to see like churches and like people like expanding their mindset, not just being so stuck in like the norm of what's supposed to be the norm, I should say. What they think is supposed to be the norm, and like how you're supposed to act, and who you're supposed to date, and who you're supposed to, you know, represent, and who you're supposed to be. So that was very powerful for them to have us to come in as Project SURVIVE and to talk about that. So definitely take advantage of Project SURVIVE and all the women's studies classes. The cuts are serious, so please sign up for your classes. If you are a student at CCSF, sign up for your classes. Definitely take the women's studies classes. Get that sexual health certificate, and